Dear friends, today, Friday, May 22nd, the 28th day of the month of Iyar, and our 50th installment of the Corona Inspiration series. We're in the 43rd day of the Omer, Erev Shabbat, right before Shabbat. And I want to share with you a thought from the Torah reading, which is also a very important element to understand about ourselves and our intrinsic value and our value to God and to the world. So in this week's Torah portion, Bamidbar, which is a lot of counting, how the Jews were counted in great detail, and also separately the Levites were counted. Now, the people who were counted were those who were standing in service. So amongst the Jews, it was the males between 20 and 60 who were the standing army. And amongst the Levites, it was the males from 1 month and older. And we're told the number per tribe. Total number of Jews was 603,550. We're told the number of the Levites per family. There were 3 families, about 22,000. And it's very interesting. Though they were counted separately, for various reasons explained in the Torah and the commentaries and by the rabbis, but why were they counted differently to the point that the Levites were counted from 1 month old and the Jewish people, the rest of the Jewish people, from 20 to 60? And within here, we see something very profound. 20 to 60 is an age where actually they can be of service. They are people who have reached maturity. They can now stand as an army. They can defend. They can fight for the Jewish people, to protect the Jewish people, to conquer the land of Israel when it's needed to be, and to make sure that society runs well and everybody is safe and good. So it's understandable why they were counted from 20 to 60. These were the people that were on the ground, the actual doing of what you're supposed to do. What is the idea of a month? And why a month? Why not a year? Why not 5 years? Why not right away when they're born? So the rabbis tell us, because until a baby's a month old, you're not 100% sure if they will survive. Because if there's any defects, inherent defects, they won't make it past a month. But once you live for a month, then you know the baby's going to survive. And God, we all pray that they survive till 120. That is why a pidyon aben, when you have to redeem your child from a kohen, it's done after a month as well. So a month is really when you start counting a person as being fully alive. And that moment, Hashem said, the Levites have to be counted. Why? The Levites had a special way of serving Hashem. They weren't serving as an army. They were there to serve in the temple. And being that they have to serve in the temple, the whole tribe of Levi, especially the Kohanim, the priests, already had to live their life differently than everyone else. Meaning everyone else inherited a piece of the land of Israel, but not the family of the Levites. They were given land to live on, but they did not inherit. And they did not have the land to work it and to get involved in commerce and agriculture, because they were dedicated to God. And they had to be ready to serve God in the temple and all the things that were needed to be done there every day and when it was transported. So their life was dedicated to God. And as it was dedicated to God, already from when they were young, they lived with already a different level of awareness of who they are and what they stand for. And here we see what's very important for us to learn for ourselves. There are 2 parts to our life. One part is when we're actually on the ground doing things, meaning we're the sum of our accomplishments. What we can do when we're between 20 and 60, at the prime of our life, what are we accomplishing, what are we producing, what are we doing? And this is a question we'll have to ask ourselves: am I doing the fullest I can, the best I can, using all my abilities, my skills, my blessings that I've been blessed with by God to do what I need to do? And that's important. Everyone has to ask that question. But there's an element sometimes when you got to remember, it's not just what I do, but sometimes what I am already demands that I feel differently and I just behave differently. I walk differently. I carry myself differently. My communication is different. my awareness, my consciousness is much more stronger, is much more real by me. Like the family of the Levites and the Kohanim, who had to remember always the duty that they carried and how much more careful they had to be in how they were presenting themselves, even from the young age of a month, and especially as they grew older. And so too it is with every one of us. We all have an intrinsic value. Besides what we can accomplish, and we all should accomplish a lot, we have an intrinsic value of who we are. And we are the people chosen by Hashem. God chose us, not because we are necessarily better, not because we are necessarily more entitled than the other people around us. He chose us to be much more aware of who we are and who put us here in the world, God, and how we have to serve God. So wherever we are, when a Jew walks in the street, we represent much more than ourselves. Just like a Levite represents the temple they serve, a prince represents the royal family where they come from and the lineage and the heritage of their history. When a Jew exists, when a Jew walks around, we represent much more than my individual self. We represent the people. We represent the history. We represent the message. We represent a way of life. We represent that awareness of purpose and mission and constant connection to Hashem. Count from 1 month old, because already they are on duty. And this is why the Jewish people have always been singled out. Because it's not about what the Jew did. Very often it's just the fact that we're a Jew. To many, that already means we are different in some way. Unfortunately, very often it leads to anti-Semitism. For whatever reason it is, it's not the time to talk about it. But on the other hand, many look up to the Jew to say, the Jew walks in the street, it's a sign that something greater is happening in the world, that there is a God, there is a reason for everything happening, there is a purpose, there is a beginning and there is an end. So our existence is already a statement, and therefore it's important to carry ourselves around always with the knowledge and the awareness that we represent something much greater just from our existence alone. So God should help that we should be successful in carrying around that counting that starts at a month, that we are Ashreinu Matov Chalkeinu, we are blessed for who we are, and then to take it to the next level, that our actions should be one that will be blessed and praised by all around us for being honest, good, helping others, and helping lead society to a better place. So I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom, and this is something that can happen whether we are in quarantine or not. This is something where a prince walks around in their palace as a prince as well. So wherever we are the prince and princesses of God. Let's be proud and carry it proudly. So Shabbat Shalom. May God bless you. We love you all. Candlelighting time in Montreal is 8:08 p.m.